What's going on, nation? Today I want to share with you guys the top 5 most common mistake lifters make when doing a dumbbell lateral raise. Now, there aren't too many exercises that target the medial deltoid. So when you're doing the dumbbell lateral raise, you want to make sure you're doing it right, especially if you're only hitting your shoulders once a week. So let's get right to it. Let me grab my dumbbells real quick. So the first mistake, and this is probably one of the most common mistakes I see lifters make, and in fact, it's a mistake that I had made for a long time because, to be honest, this is just how we were taught to do the movement when we were younger. So the first mistake is doing the exercise and holding the dumbbells in front of your body, and then as you lift them up in the air, keeping the dumbbells in front of your body like this. And when you do the movement, and you can feel it, just grab a light pair of dumbbells. These are 10s right now. Grab a light pair of dumbbells and lift. Do you feel it more in your medial deltoid or in your anterior deltoid? And the anterior is the front right here. The answer is you're going to feel it more in the anterior. Now, this mistake originates because most people would say, well, you want to get as much range of motion as possible, so you want to bring the dumbbells in front of your body and then bring them up. Well, if you really think about it, and if you look at me in this position, my elbows are bent. So if I just made my arms straight and then rotated back, it's the same range of motion. There really is no difference. So the correct way to perform this movement and to avoid hitting the anterior deltoid is first, obviously, retract your shoulder blades, but from here, just lift straight up to the side and then come straight back down. And then pause at the bottom, come back up, come back down. All medial deltoid. And make sure that when you bring the dumbbells up in the air, you're not rotating back or rotating forward. If you rotate back, you're going to hit the posterior deltoid more. If you rotate forward, you're going to feel it in that anterior deltoid again. So you want to keep it in the middle. Just remember M&M, medial, middle. Now, the second most common mistake is lifting too heavy. You guys have to understand, this is an isolation movement. It's not a compound movement where you're trying to lift as heavy as possible and impress everybody in the gym. And if you're trying to impress people with your medial deltoids, you need to be using the right amount of weight, or else you're not working them at all. And so what happens, guys, I'm going to drop these 10s and grab these 30s. If you start going too heavy on this movement, or if you start to fatigue and you don't drop the weight to finish your set, you start to notice this happening. You see the bend in the knees and then coming up. And it looks more like a half jumping jack or something. Now, just with those 3 reps, I felt my traps take on probably 90% of the load. Barely felt anything in my shoulders, guys. Again, down, up, you all see that, the head jerks forward, and we're just throwing the dumbbells in the air. You're putting way too much of the load on your traps, you're barely targeting your medial deltoids at all, and if you continue to do all your sets like this, like I said, there's not a lot of exercises out there that really target the medial deltoid, so you're missing out on all kinds of gains. The third most common mistake is not focusing on the negative. Remember, guys, the slower you lower the weight, the more muscle fiber recruitment you're going to have. You break down the most amount of muscle fiber in the negative portion of the movement. So a lot of the times what you'll see is, we get stuck with numbers, and let's say we're trying to do a set of 10 repetitions. The goal in our head becomes getting to 10 no matter what, and forgetting the whole point of doing the exercise. The whole point of doing the exercise is to break down that medial deltoid. And so if you're coming up like this, pause for a second, and then lowering slow on the way down, you're really recruiting a lot of muscle fiber on the way up, and you're really focusing on breaking down that medial deltoid on the way down as well. Now, if you start doing this, where you come up and then just drop every single rep, you're missing out on probably like 60-70% of where the gains are coming from. Obviously, to lift the dumbbells in the air, you have to recruit your medial deltoids, but it's controlling the negative that's going to make you break down the most amount of muscle fiber for the most amount of gains. The fourth most common mistake I see, and this is usually a result of wanting to lift super heavy weight, and again, guys, this is an isolation movement. That medial deltoid is not a huge muscle, so it doesn't need huge weight. But the fourth most common mistake is bending the elbows too much. And what I mean by that is, dudes will go up and they'll try to grab like 40s, 50-pound dumbbells, and they'll start to do their lateral raises. And what happens also from this is they start to bend over forward, So now not only are they not in the upright position, but they're bent over forward like this, and then as they do the lateral raise, it becomes one of these. And when you start doing this, you're recruiting mostly upper traps and your posterior deltoid, so your rear deltoid. Very little, if none, medial deltoid is being targeted in this movement. Remember guys, this is proper range of motion, this is proper form. Going up like this, and then coming back down. If you start doing this, it's a totally different exercise. If your goal is to target your upper traps and your posterior deltoids, then cool, you should throw that into your shoulder routine. But if you're trying to hit the medials, stand up straight, keep those arms straight, and come out to the side, just like this. The fifth most common mistake people make when doing a dumbbell lateral raise is lack of core stability. And if you guys don't know how to properly activate your core, I'll post a link to one of my videos that shows you exactly how to do it and how to make it stronger. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, activating your core is important because what that's going to do is make your body one solid piece from top to bottom. So in doing the dumbbell lateral raise, obviously you're standing in the air. So you want to have your feet about shoulder width apart, you're going to flex your glutes, and then you're going to take in a breath to create internal pressure. So when you flex your core, this is one solid piece. That internal pressure is crucial. And now what most people do, and the reason why they lack core stability, is because as they lift the dumbbells, they breathe out. So you see this, taking a breath, and as you breathe out, it's almost like an accordion in your core, so you start to actually crumble. Now, if you were to take in that breath and keep that internal pressure, that's gonna allow you to be as strong as possible when you lift your arms in the air. So taking a breath, and then you just keep repeating that process. So arms come down, take another breath. And to be honest with you, you might find that you can actually lift even 5 pounds heavier on that same set of 8 to 10 repetitions just by activating your core properly. For those of you looking to really perfect your form with this exercise, the next time you go to the gym, I want you to try doing them seated. This is going to help you avoid all those mistakes we just talked about. When you sit in the chair, make sure you push your feet against these pegs or against the ground, depending on what kind of machine you're using. And when you sit upright like this, push your back into the pad right here. This is going to help you with that core stability we talked about. And then once you're in place, perform the exercise, avoiding all the mistakes we just talked about, and you'll be targeting those medial deltoids much better in no time. And for those of you looking to gain the extra edge on your workouts, if you go down in the info section below, I have a link to my online coaching. Customized meal plan, customized workout plan for you and your goals. So make sure you check it out. Be sure to leave those comments down in the comment section below. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. See you guys. If you're looking for a website that lets you build your own profile, interact with other community members, log your daily meal plan and add your own custom foods, find the exact routines you're looking for to reach your goals on a weekly basis, new recipe ideas to help improve your meal plan, and you enjoy learning new things to take your workouts to the next level, join muscularstrength.com. What's your maximum output?